Good day, my friends and family. Today I want to talk about understanding and survival of economic ripple effects. And we have a lot of bad stuff happening right now all over the world, not just here in the United States. And I know we have listeners from all over the world, but I think what I want to talk today is it's universal. I think it can go across the whole entire globe, especially in this weird economic uncertainty times. It's complete economic uncertainty. I follow about 15 to 20 people, and I like to get a perspective, right? Different views, different levels of comprehension. And one of the things I see is there's nobody really knows what's going on. So if you guys are following somebody and they're saying, here's what's going on, look throughout history. There has been a couple of people who have predicted some things, and they've come true. They predicted a lot of stuff, and a lot of people are keeping their eyes on them. But a lot of circumstances, a lot of things have changed. But the one thing that hasn't changed is the ripple effects. And I want to give credit towards Ken McElroy. And as I was just saying, I listen to a lot of people. Ken McElroy is mostly into real estate investing. But it's a lot of these people who are into real estate, not necessarily into economics or things like that, that really get a view, right? Because they're on the ripple effect. They're on a different side of the waves that are hitting the beach, right? They have a different perspective. Their perspective and their goals more is like, hey, I want to buy houses. What's going on in the economy? There's no really reason or rhyme for them to lie or to, try to fandangle things. They're business people looking to make money. And I kind of like these people's perspectives. One of the things he said was there's a ripple effect. So what we have is the feds, the federal, I hate to say government because they're not really government, that they're own established, but federal taxes and things like that. They have the power to literally sometimes just say that they're going to raise interest rates, right? And what they do, that ripple effect, when they sound this noise off, hey, we have a meeting, they actually put it on the news and things like that where you can watch it live. Businesses are over here working. They hear that, right? And certain individuals, investors and stuff like that, they go, well, oh my goodness, what? They're going to raise hike rates and things like that. So it affects them. They'll actually stop and say, well, they keep raising rates and we can't continue doing business or investing like this. So just literally before they even put anything into action, it already has a ripple effect on the economy. So what Ken McElroy is saying is you can imagine this like a pond, and a very large pond. And basically what I'm adding to it is that we all live on the shores, we're little tiny bugs on the sandy shores in this pond. And when the feds or anybody else comes and drops a rock in the middle, meaning a rate hike or something like that, it hits the water, it makes a sound. A lot of people are spooked out, but we actually don't feel the physicality of these things until the wave actually hits the beach. So what happens is as it hits the beach, right, you go and you feel it, right? And this is the thing that I've learned is that, let's just say 2022 here, that the feds raised interest rates in February. They raised them in May. They raised them in July, right? We're just barely feeling the ones from February, the ripple effects. And let me explain that, how. So let's take the example of chicken, right? A chicken dinner. And it's not just about chickens. This example goes across the board for everything. The ripple effect hits many, many things. As you guys can tell, driving, to the grocery store, how much things are costing right now as of this is last week of October, I believe, when I'm recording this. But what's happening is that it's not just that chicken's going up. There's so much involved. The cost of labor has gone up. And this ripple effect goes through, I guess what I'd like to say too, this is like a machine, right? Because you have employees, right? The farmer who raises the chickens has to pay that much more money for help to actually get those chickens processed and fed and all that. And then we reverse that down, let's go backwards. The cost of feed's going up, right? And those people who grow grain, they have to pay labor. Those people have to pay gas prices. There's also, in the mechanics of things, there's supply chain shortages. I heard that a lot of these farmers couldn't even get tractor tires. And this is happening all over the world. So they can't get the tractor tires, or it's difficult to get the tractor tires to go and make the grain, to hire the people to help process the grain and use the tractors to harvest these things and get them not only harvested, but then onto a transportation truck, which has to pay labor, right? And gas prices in and of itself. That business ships that over to the packing company. The packing company has labor, and so forth and so forth. You can see by the time the grain gets to the chicken and the chicken actually gets cooked or butchered at the slaughtered at the house, the slaughtering house, prepared for you, and then shipped from there to, say, the grocery store, and then you take your car to get. There's so many moving parts to this, the mechanics of this. So, and it's not like a lot of people think that everything's going to go back to normal. Like, yeah, it's just going to return. Some of these things that happen, I mean, we have famine all over the world. That's already happening now with the wars, going on in various overseas. I don't want to get kicked off any platforms nowadays because I guess there's no free speech. But there's a lot of people starving, a lot of people getting hungry. And it's not like a lot of those things could just flip on, right? It's wintertime here, or it's fall over here in United States, in California at least. And if we wanted to plant grains here, you're not planting grains right now in the middle towards winter. You got to wait till next year. Well, what do we do in the meantime? So these ripple effects, as they hit, the Feds raise interest rates, and they're deliberately, guys, trying to take down the economy. It's the only way they can get a handle on the labor inflation that we have, inflation in general of everything. They got to bring the whole thing down to do who knows what. Not claiming to know that. I just know that, look, there's hard times already hitting, and I'm already seeing people afraid of losing their jobs. I'm seeing mass layoffs in the construction industry over here in Southern California. I'm actually doing quite well. I have not felt anything other than the Great Resignation. I'm doing this show today. It's been a while. I know, for those of you who follow, it's been a long while because I've been moving. It's a story in and of itself. Maybe I'll tell you guys a little at the end. But I'm working by myself, so I'm taking the time this morning to actually just give a quick 10-minute video and, keep things rolling here. But yeah, it's happening, the economic uncertainty. And the ripple effect is we just talked about the doom and gloom, right? All this bad stuff that's happening around. But the one thing that I think that people need to understand is that when you understand these ripple effects, the negative, look at the mechanics of these things. As I've said a lot in my show, I always like to tell people too, is I like to study the monster, right? If something going on is bad as, like, say, Hitler, right? He's a horrible person. What are the things he did that made him so powerful? I think someone said he invented the freeway. I was like, whoa, he invented the freeway. Really? I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is, that's genius stuff. Yes, he did a bunch of horrible stuff and a horrible person, but watching how the monster moves and reacts, watching how maybe the rich people think the rich are evil, right? I'm doing a house right now, a multi-million-dollar home, basically. And this guy started out ditch digging. You don't know the story of these people, right? But you can watch the progression of what they did to get themselves the mechanics and the ripple effects of things they've done in their life. So what we can learn, too, from nature, lessons from nature, as I always like to refer to, is that nothing really happens overnight. I think most people are used to getting a headache. You take an aspirin and the headache's gone within 30 minutes, right? Maybe even 10 minutes. You got allergies. There's an underlying situation. You have to eat the right foods. You're getting a headache for some reason. Maybe you're not drinking enough water. Your neck's out. There's many variable things that we need to take care of. I think my favorite is when you're planting, when you get a raw piece of land and you're doing such things as permaculture, and you want to plant a thing called a food forest. And a food forest is a forest that's basically edible. There's trees that take photosynthesis from the top. There's certain vines that like to climb up the trees. They don't need so much photosynthesis. They'll live in the branches, right? Like grapes, and there's cane fruits, let's say, on the bottom, like raspberries and stuff like that. And then you have like comfrey is a herb. You have maybe some mint, some mushrooms down as the layers go down, right? Well, this thing needs to establish. It's not like you just plant it. You can go buy big trees and just throw them in there and throw the vines. It takes years, and just like fine wine, as it ages, the ripple effects of those things, it starts to become comfortable. All the microbiology settles in. Nothing's being ripped out. Nothing's being removed. Animals and birds return, lizards, amphibians. And it's like, well, we're comfortable here, and there's everything we need. Let's start to multiply. Let's make more babies. Same thing with the microbiology and the mycelium, the mushrooms, the cane fruits, the fruit trees. Everything you have starts to drop fruit. Those who don't make it die off, but the strong stay there. Diseases will come in and try to kill the plants and the animals. Some will die, but after a while they become immune. So it takes this time for everything to establish and enrich and come to true fruition. Now, if somebody was to do something like that, right? Even backyard gardening or something like that, doing land race breeding of seeds and stuff like that, what you would have is you would build this bank of wealth for yourself. That has nothing to do with money, right? But it takes time. It takes time for that thing to establish. So the ripple effects you can see in a positive, I'd like to say for myself, people say, you're lucky you have so many tools. No, I bought tools. I ate crap for a long time, right? Not going out to movies and things like that. And I have thousands of dollars worth of tools, and I have thousands, if not millions of hours of experience working on my truck, fixing plumbing, doing all kinds of different construction things, right? Coatings and framing and roofing and painting and all these things. And I've accumulated through my life these ripple effects that have helped me in the future. As I drop the stone in my own beautiful pond of life, those ripple effects have gone over to the beach and have caused significant talents and things that I'm able to do, right? So by putting that work in years ago, I've established myself now that I gave the gift to my future self to where I'm able to be more mobile and more experienced and more diverse, I would say, both emotionally, spiritually, with money is my biggest one nowadays, my health, right? I look at a lot of my friends that are my age, upper 40s, and a lot of them can't pick up a couch, right? Me, I could pick up the couch by myself. But yeah, so guys, I just wanted to say the ripple effect is the whole moral of the story, that you can see it in a positive and a negative. And there's many things to come. There's a lot of things that the feds have done, the government is doing, and the waves just haven't hit the beach yet, and it's not looking too good. And it's time for us to stand up and start creating our own ripple effects and start helping ourselves to become more resilient. And I guess I'll just leave it at that. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Please mention in the comments below. There's my email. And I just, I'll clean some house. I haven't been on in a while. Now that I ended the show, and if you're still here, I actually moved out of my tiny house. And I went from about $1,700 to $4,000, a little bit over $4,000 right now, into a full-blown house. And I did it for various reasons. But I'm still moving. That's why I haven't been actually doing my shows. And I really want the interaction with you guys. I can't stand not doing these shows. I just love them. But it would really be nice if you guys subscribed, helped us build this channel, because one of the things I would love to do to be a kick in the pants is YouTube Live. Now, I do these things on the podcast, right, on Libsyn and all those kind of things. You guys could find me. But I also do the videos. But I'd love to go live and answer questions and help people out. Those of you who I have helped and you guys have told me about it, it just made my year, man. I am like honored and happy to know that I could do something. I think it's in my nature to be here and to try to help people the best that I can, living my life free and doing better than I ever have, especially in these times, the best I ever have. I'm excited, and I want that for everybody. It's like that thing when you discover something, right? And you're like my daughter with raw milk helped her asthma. You want to tell the whole world. You want everybody's kid who has asthma or anybody, hey, drink some raw milk. That's my life. I want to everybody live life free. You don't have to live like this. So that's it, guys. I'm rambling off too much. I got to get to work. See you guys later.